Welcome to GESARA for Dummies. It is the 24th of March 2025. Let's look at today's news from Professor William Liebenberg. Please like, share and subscribe. Join our Telegram group in the comments below. Also, see in comments attached links. Thank you. Let's go. Iraq and Dinar RV. A week left for the World Trade Organization to state when their fourth working meeting will be before their own committed cutoff date of the 31st of March, yet not a peep. This overwhelmingly proves that nothing in the alliance's program is time-driven. Everything is event-driven, and all 64 global events are connected and interconnected, meaning one event affects the other. Gurus have been giving you dates week after week for years and left you most disappointed. Pay attention to world events, patterns and trends, and you will be wise. These unconditionally prove to you, we are making progress daily. The GESARA Law. April 2nd redefines global alliances. The US, with its gold-backed dollar and energy dominance, becomes the linchpin of a new trade bloc with nations like Canada and Australia joining a gold pact by 2026, pegging their currencies to gold and XRP for seamless trade. You're holidaying in Sydney, paying with a digital wallet that converts dollars to Aussie dollars instantly, with no fees. Developing nations like Kenya leapfrog into modernity, using blockchain to manage land rights, doubling agricultural output, and sending organic coffee to your local supermarket. This interconnected prosperity rooted in America's bold moves ushers in a world where opportunity knows no borders, and you're living at the heart of it. Revival of American manufacturing and innovation. With the gold standard anchoring the dollar, businesses gain the confidence to invest heavily in the US. Imagine factories reopening in places like Detroit and Pittsburgh, producing everything from steel to microchips. The Department of Commerce projects a 30% increase in manufacturing output by 2027. Driven by Trump's policies favoring domestic production, exactly what tariffs should do for you. This means access to high-quality, American-made goods at lower prices, no more overpaying for imported junk. Innovation skyrockets as companies like Tesla and Apple bring R&D back home, hiring thousands of engineers at salaries averaging $150,000 a year. Your neighbor, a welder, laid off in 2020, now runs a 3D printing shop making parts for electric vehicles, pulling in $90,000 annually. Donald Trump's declaration of April 2nd as Liberation Day isn't just a symbolic gesture. It's the launchpad for a reimagined world order where America leads with strength, innovation, and fairness. Beyond the gold standard, oil drilling surge, and blockchain revolution already set in motion, this day heralds a cascade of changes that will redefine how you live, work, and dream. For Americans and the global community, the future is a tapestry of opportunity, woven with threads of economic stability, technological advancement, and cultural renewal. Here's the next layer of what's coming. Oil drilling isn't just about fuel, it's about farming. Cheap energy slashes costs for fertilizers and machinery, supercharging U.S. agriculture. The USDA forecasts a 25% drop in food production costs by 2026, meaning your grocery bill shrinks. $50 buys what $75 did last year. Farmers in Iowa and Nebraska, once struggling, now export record amounts of corn and soybeans, with the gold-backed dollar making their goods competitive globally. You're eating fresher, locally grown produce, and food deserts. In places like inner city Chicago shrink as affordable supply chains expand. Globally, nations like Egypt and Nigeria, reliant on U.S. grain, have seen hunger rates drop by 15%, fostering stability and goodwill toward America. It has always been about the farmers, the epicenter of everything. President Trump and every wise global leader deeply appreciate them. In South Africa, they are vehemently prosecuted by the communist ANC and blatantly ignored by the globalist DA party. South African farmers, keep the faith. Your day of victory is fast approaching. Watch President Trump. Banks and the economy. Nasdaq crash. Why the dogs will roar and the stars will fall. You can be a fundamentalist, a chartist, or both. In my case, I can now be both, as both perspectives point in the same direction. Anyone who has been reading my pieces on Forbes for the past 20 years or so will know that I'm neither a perma-bull nor a perma-bear. I am adapting to market conditions. After crashes, I'm a bull. When the market enters pre-crash mode, I turn bearish. I have a solid track record. Feel free to check it out. I mention this as a preamble because all I see ahead are market crashes. A crash is imminent. Payment systems. NB. XRP has been successfully tested on SWIFT's network by over 11,000 banks, 1% of SWIFT's network, and we will witness the rise of XRP to $100. This is massive. XRP integration with SWIFT is a game changer. XRP is ready to move your digital gold-backed bond payments via this bridge into any currency and account globally and track and trace them. Why did the XRP shoot up immediately? Integrate the private ledger and the public ledger, and you'll see a massive difference in pricing. Private ledger is over $370,000 an XRP right now, but unfortunately David is going to tell you it's for testing for banks and institutions. Just hang in there. The International Monetary Fund, also known as IMF, integrates cryptocurrencies into global economic data reporting. The IMF has included detailed guidance on digital assets in its global statistical standards. Keep looking out for the 22nd of July, when the crypto regulations have an 180-day expiring date. Stablecoin regulations will be passed first, then the normal crypto regulations as the RLUSD must appear on Forex, which opens the door for the Dinar on Forex as well. Genius Act versus Waters Bill. Competing paths for U.S. stablecoin regulation. Cryptocurrency regulation in the U.S. has long been marked by uncertainty, political infighting, and reactionary enforcement. However, stablecoins have emerged as the digital asset class most likely to receive bipartisan and bicameral regulatory clarity in 2025. In the past 2 weeks, two influential lawmakers, Senator Bill Hagerty, Republican Tennessee governor, and Republican Maxine Waters, Democratic California governor, unveiled stablecoin bills in their respective chambers of Congress. Each aims to provide a structured regulatory framework for the industry in the Senate and the House. Two pieces of legislation. The Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins, or GENIUS Act, was introduced by Hagerty and co-sponsored by Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, Democratic New York Governor, Cynthia Lummis, Republican Wyoming, and Tim Scott, Republican South Carolina, seek to create a clear, innovation-friendly framework while ensuring consumer protection. It embraces a state-federal regulatory balance, allowing smaller issuers to operate under state supervision while placing larger stablecoin providers under federal oversight. Senator Gillibrand emphasized the bill's role in protecting consumers and fostering responsible innovation in a February 5, 2025 press release. By contrast, the stablecoin bill introduced by Waters, described as the culmination of 3 years of bipartisan negotiation, takes a more centralized approach. The Waters bill subjects all stablecoin issuers, both banks and non-banks, to Federal Reserve oversight. In a podcast interview, she said Democrats have to move forward with artificial intelligence and cryptocurrency if Democrats took control of the House in the 2024 election. Get ready, they're coming. More on the stablecoin legislation. A federal bill that will help fuel Trump's U.S. cryptocurrency boom is getting closer to passage. The Genius Act faced opposition from Senator Elizabeth Warren, but just passed a procedural hurdle. It will help stablecoins become a more broadly accepted payment option for everyday Americans, and give them a better defined regulatory environment. Senator Bill Hagerty said, "There are roughly $28 trillion worth of stablecoin transactions taking place across the world. We need to be a leader here in America. This legislation allows us to do that." The Seven Kingdoms. If you think the formation of the Seven Kingdoms is not a reality, then you obviously do not pay attention to what is going on. U.S. Vice President Vance's wife, Usha Vance, flew to Greenland to learn about Greenlandic heritage. Usha Vance's Greenland visit isn't solo. Several Trump officials are with her on a private visit. National Security Advisor Waltz, plus Army and Energy Secretaries. The U.S. Air Force lands in Greenland with Second Lady Usha Vance, Security Advisor Mike Waltz, and Energy Secretary Chris Wright, as Prime Minister Mutijed slams the highly aggressive visit. Canada's Prime Minister said, "Trump wants to break Canada, so America can own it. Pay attention to the tariffs war. He is going to take Canada over. It is a 100% certainty." The Canadian Parliament dissolved. The next elections are April 28. Trump threatening Canada's sovereignty, country facing most significant crisis. Prime Minister Carney. "Years ago when I wrote the parts below, people thought I had lost them. Many still think so. But the reality will prove inevitable." That sums up your Monday news. See you tomorrow.